fit fund my wallet sharp sharp, send money go any bank, do all my transactions inside.
We launched SuperGo yesterday in Yola.
Now available in Taraba and Adamawa, and we're covering 36 states before 2026.
Download SuperGo today, Nigeria's first lifestyle app.
SuperGo, move, buy, pay, live.
Every day begins with a need to move with purpose, to shop without stress, to send without fear, to pay without delay. For every rider chasing time, for every home that needs restocking, for every voice that needs connection, for every dream that needs delivery. Now, one app brings it all together.
Supercab, move smart, ride safe, supermarket, groceries, gadgets, everything. Supercash, airtime, bills, transfers, done. Super logistics, fast, secure, right to your door.
It's more than an app. It's your movement, your market, your money, your connection, all in one place. Supergo, more app, for services, endless. Download SuperGo today. Live free, live fast, live smart.
No time to shop, no stress. With SuperGo, your groceries comes to you. We partner with trusted vendors, verified stores, no delay, no excuses, just values. SuperGo Supermarket, your market now in your hands. With SuperGo, your ride is comfortable, easy and convenient.
SuperGo is more than an app. It's a movement. Moving people, powering threats, delivering value.
Welcome to World News on Som TV, your reliable avenue to news coverage. Stay connected with us on Facebook at Som TV and catch every moment live on YouTube at Som TV Live. I am Moses Peter, and now the top stories making headlines. Gaza Water Company resumes operations after Hamas releases detained employee. Trump administration fails to delay congressional vote on Epstein files. U.S. Congress to hold hearing on Nigeria's redesignation as country of particular concern. Now the news in full. Reports from South Africa show that the government has lowered its inflation target to 3%, the first change in 25 years, with a 1-point tolerance band. Finance Minister Enoch Gondogwana indicated that the adjustment will gradually reduce inflation expectations and allow room for future rate cuts. Implementation will take 2 years. Following the announcement, the rand and long-term bonds strengthened, though slower economic growth and a budget deficit of 4.7% of GDP remain concerns. Additionally, China has pledged $3.49 million to support HIV prevention in South Africa over the next 2 years. The funding targets youth and people who inject drugs under a UN AIDS partnership. Ambassador Wong Peng emphasized capacity building, technology transfer, and policy support, while Health Minister Aaron Mosualendi welcomed the grant. This contribution aims to fill gaps left by US aid cuts and strengthen South Africa's public health infrastructure. Moving to Rwanda, the central bank expects to maintain an accommodative monetary policy as inflation is projected to remain below 5% through 2025. Governor John Rwangombwa said in Singapore, economic growth is likely to exceed 8% this year. The bank has reduced its policy rate twice to 6.5%, with further adjustments under consideration. Key risks include climate impact on agriculture and global geopolitical tensions that may affect economic performance. Meanwhile, reports from Egypt indicate that President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Russian President Vladimir Putin jointly oversaw via video link the installation of the reactor pressure vessel for Unit 1 of the El Daba nuclear power plant. Officials highlighted that this milestone moves the project from construction to core assembly and commissioning. Both nations signed a nuclear fuel supply agreement, and the installation coincided with Egypt's Nuclear Energy Day, reflecting strengthened bilateral energy cooperation. Coming in from Guinea-Bissau, President Umaru Sissoco Embalo faces a challenging re-election amid political polarization and rising cocaine trafficking. His main challenger, Fernando Diaz, has promised security, reconciliation, and military neutrality. The election involves 12 candidates, but the focus remains on Embalo, 53, and Diaz, 47. Embalo's legitimacy has been questioned over term limits and legislative disputes. Provisional results are expected within 48 hours, with nearly half of the 2 million population registered to vote. Reports from Turkey reveal that the country will host next year's COP31 climate summit following a compromise agreement with Australian leading government negotiations. A pre-COP event will highlight climate vulnerabilities of Pacific Island nations. Turkey's summit in Antalya will emphasize global solidarity, while Australia stresses regional concerns. Both nations have a year to prepare for the conference, which is expected to gather tens of thousands of participants to advance international climate action. Coming from the United States, apprehensions at the San Diego, Mexico border have fallen nearly 90%, returning to levels last seen in the 1970s. Fewer migrants are attempting crossings, resulting in dramatically fewer injuries and emptying Tijuana shelters. Stricter immigration policies under President Trump, including deportations, asylum limits, and enhanced border enforcement, have contributed to the decline. Local hospitals report far fewer trauma cases, though migrant advocates warn of ongoing hardships for those still seeking entry. Additionally, U.S. President Donald Trump has pledged to help end the war in Sudan after a request from Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The United States will collaborate with Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, and other regional partners to halt atrocities and stabilize the economy. The conflict, ongoing since 2023, stems from clashes between Sudan's military and paramilitary rapid support forces, causing displacement, humanitarian crises, and regional security challenges. Reports from Iran indicate that the country has asked Saudi Arabia to persuade the U.S. to revive stalled nuclear talks, reflecting concerns over potential Israeli strikes and worsening economic conditions. Although both Tehran and Washington support diplomacy, their demands conflict. Iran seeks sanctions relief, while the U.S. requires limits on enrichment, missiles, and proxy support. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman supports a peaceful resolution and is positioned as a key mediator. Furthermore, the IAEA Board of Governors passed a resolution demanding Iran provide information and access regarding enriched uranium stocks and nuclear sites damaged in June airstrikes by Israel and the United States. Iran warned the resolution could adversely affect cooperation, while Western powers stressed urgent verification to restore confidence. The resolution passed with 19 votes in favor, 3 against, and 12 abstentions amid ongoing concerns over Iran's nuclear activities and compliance. Moving to the European Union, officials are preparing to adopt a tougher trade and economic security stance toward China, with Germany signaling a shift from previous caution. The upcoming doctrine, scheduled for December 3rd, will review trade defense tools, including export controls and investment screening. Germany aims to protect steel and technology sectors, while Spain's openness to Chinese investment risks EU unity amid concerns over rare earth technology transfer and unfair competition. Coming in from Europe and Ukraine, European nations resisted a US-backed peace plan requiring Ukraine to make territorial concessions and reduce military capabilities, warning that peace should not mean capitulation, according to French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot. A US military delegation visited Kyiv while Russia continues bombardments. Entering its fourth winter, the war has devastated Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. Kyiv insists that ceding land or reducing forces risks further Russian attacks. Additionally, Ukraine and Russia conducted a body exchange, with Kyiv receiving 1,000 and Moscow 30. Ukrainian authorities will examine and identify the remains. These swaps continue despite tensions and allegations of disorderly returns. Negotiators have not met face-to-face since July, highlighting the fragile and unresolved nature of the conflict and the difficulty of advancing diplomatic solutions. Reports from Israel reveal that airstrikes in Gaza's Khan Younis killed 5 and wounded 18, undermining a nearly 6-week-old ceasefire with Hamas. Residential areas were hit, including the death of a baby. Since the October 10 truce, 312 Palestinians have died. Hamas released hostages in exchange for prisoners, yet sporadic strikes demonstrate the fragility of the ceasefire, despite air flows and partial troop withdrawals. Human Rights Watch has accused Israel of war crimes and crimes against humanity for forcibly displacing 32,000 Palestinians from Jenin, Torkham, and Nouk Shams refugee camps during early 2025's Operation Iron Wall. Over 850 structures were destroyed, aid was denied, and returns were blocked. Human Rights Watch urged sanctions, suspension of arms sales, and ICC enforcement. Israel maintains that the operation targeted militants, rejecting claims of unlawful expulsions. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has visited troops in southern Syria, prompting condemnation from Damascus for violating sovereignty. Netanyahu emphasized protecting the Druze minority and securing Israel's northern border near the Golan Heights, captured in 1967. U.S. brokered talks have stalled, with Syria demanding the return of territory and Israel refusing to relinquish outposts, reflecting ongoing regional tensions and challenges in peace negotiations. Reports from Japan show that Shanghai-based Japanese restaurateurs, including Takashi Ito, lament renewed diplomatic tensions after Prime Minister Sagni Takahashi warned of military action in response to a potential Chinese attack on Taiwan. China reinstated bans on Japanese seafood imports and cancelled cultural events. Business has been affected, though personal safety concerns remain low. Restaurateurs hope that diplomatic efforts will restore trade and cultural exchanges. We are now heading into a short commercial break, but stay with us there. What's coming up next will glue you to your screen. Stay tuned.
Ubangiji ya albarkaci jihar Taraba da wadataccen ƙasar noma ga kuma ɗimbin albarkatun ƙasa bila adadin. Sai dai irin waɗannan dukkanin abinda Ubangiji ya samar domin samar da kyakkyawar fata ga jihar ta Taraba, ana samun wasu munanan ɗabi'u na sare dazuzzuka da tone-tonen ramumuka domin ɗebo albarkatun ƙasan da hakan ke matukar barazana ga muhalli da kuma al'ummar da cikin Taraba da ma dabbobi da suke cikinta. Wannan ko na iya lalata dukkan wani tsari ko dabaru da aka samar domin kyautata rayuwar bil'adama da mara dabbobi. Wannan illar na dada tozartawa da kuma lalata dukkanin wurare da ake da su, ga lalata ruwa da muhalli da ke zama barazana ga rayuwar dabbobi na cikin ruwa da kuma na tudu da ma jama'a da ke kan wannan. Hakan na iya zama kuma wani abin da ke iya lalata kyakkyawar fata da ake da ita na kyautata rayuwar al'umma musamman da yara da ma dabbobi. A irin wannan ne gwamnatin jihar Taraba gargashin Dr. Abu Kefo ta samar da wata wani kwamiti mai karfin fada aji da doka ta baiwa dama ya tabbatar da cewa ya takaita ayyukan saran dazuzzuka da tone-tone albarkatun ƙasa ba bisa ka'ida ba. Bisa wannan ne kuma wannan kwamiti ya tashi haikan domin tabbatar da an bi doka da aka zayyana na tabbatar da kare dazuzzuka da sauran albarkatun ƙasa da ubangiji albarkaci wannan jiha da ita domin samarwa matasa da kuma iyalai aikin yi. Idan aka bi ka'ida wurin bin matakai da za su dace da yadda ake tono albarkacin ƙasa da kuma sare dazuzzuka a bisa ka'ida, wanda hakan zai iya taimakawa ci gaba da kuma bunƙasa rayuwar jama'a da kuma fitar da Tarabar a idon duniya. A bisa wannan ake yin kira ta musamman ga al'ummar jihar Taraba da su tabbatar da cewa sun bi tsari da dabaru da aka tanadar. Ana kuma kira da amfani da sarakunan gargajiya da maluman addini da sauran jagororin al'umma da suke da alhakin kula da irin waɗannan al'ummomi da kuma ke zama tare da tabbatar da sun sanya ido sosai wurin ganin an kawar da dukkan wani kalubale da muhalli ke fuskanta. Ana kuma kira nan take ga sarakunan gargajiya da maluma na addini da su waro al'umma kai, musamman waɗanda suke jagoranta, domin nuna musu matukar illa da waɗannan sare-saren dazuzzuka da tono albarkatun ƙasa ba bisa ƙa'ida ba suke yi, kuma su ilmantar da jama'a domin amfanin su wadda mara misaltuwa ne. Ana kuma ƙarfafa musu gwiwa da cewa duk lokacin da suka ga wani aiki da ya shafi irin wannan mummunan aiki da su handarsa samar da hukumomi ta yin amfani da wannan layi 0806608102. 'Yan Taraba a haɗa hannu tare domin tabbatar da an tsirar da jihar kuma an kawar da tsarin na tono albarkatun ƙasa da sare-saren dazuzzuka ba bisa ƙa'ida ba, domin ɗorewar ci gaban jihar Taraban da kuma samar da albarkatunta da moriyarta ga dukkanin al'umma. Wannan sako ne da ya fito daga hukumar nan da take sanya ido da hana sare dazuzzuka ba bisa ƙa'ida ba.
Welcome back. We are glad you are still there with us. Going to reports coming in from Poland. Warsaw has formally requested Belarus extradite two Ukrainian nationals accused of railway sabotage on behalf of Russia, including an explosion on the Warsaw-Lublin line. Suspects Oleksandr K. and Yevgeny I. are charged in absentia. The move heightens already tense Poland-Belarus relations amid the Russian-Ukraine conflict, with Warsaw blaming Moscow for the attacks, while Belarus has yet to respond. Coming on from Greece indicates that the country is exploring EU discussions to establish migrant return hubs in Africa. Rejected asylum seekers would be sent to safe African countries to reduce irregular migration. Greece, a key entry point during the 2015-2016 crisis, has seen rising arrivals on Crete and Gavdos. Talks with Germany are underway, and Athens officially supports the initiative while strengthening border security and limiting asylum coming from sea arrivals. Coming in from Kosovo, President Josa Osmani announced a snap parliamentary election on December 28 after the ruling party led by acting Prime Minister Albin Kurti failed to form a government following the February elections. Osmani urged a dignified campaign and stable institutions to serve citizens' interests. Opposition parties criticize Curtis' handling of Western relations and the ethnically divided North. Kosovo declared independence from Serbia in 2008, supported by the US following NATO intervention. And that's the end of World News on Some TV. Stay connected for more updates and exclusive programs on Some TV. Follow us on Facebook at Some TV and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Some TV Live. I am Moses Peter, wishing you the best.